Okay, welcome back everyone. In this video we're going to go over the new masking kit for the 1 to 537 scale Enterprise from AMT. The kit we've modeled after the 1 to 350 scale Enterprise. It has the same detail, the same design that you're going to get on that kit, you're now going to get on this kit, only in much smaller package. So a lot of the video applications that we have online already, videos 1 through 8, those will be applied in this kit, as the masks are pretty much the same, only at a smaller size. So one of the issues we had with this kit, and the reason we want to do the video, is the Aztec paneling that they have scribed in the hull. Online I've heard a lot of people saying that it's a lot of guys will fill all this in, sand the panel smooth. We can do that too. Also, I just thought it would be better to show you guys on a basic kit the problems we had, the challenges we're going to have, other than it's really small, of the applications of the masking. One of the challenges we had was not only is it the cut lines for the panels, but in between these panels the hull's not very smooth. So what we've done is we've prepped our hull, given like 2 or 3 coats of primer, and we've sanded it in between, trying to get things as smooth as possible. And we'll just see how things go from here. So the first thing I'm going to do is these little squares we have on the top hull, I'm going to get these taped off, and then we'll do the Aztecing on here. So I'm just going to go over quickly on the different versions of vinyl that is going to come with this kit. You're going to have a gray vinyl. This is a very good low tack vinyl. It's good if you want to take large pieces off and place them on. You'll see them on the 1 to 350 scale. These are where we'll do our Aztec panels after we've done our main field. You can just put them on, pull them off, and just keep moving them around. That's good for that. The black mask is the one you're going to get with all your Aztecing on it. This is the one that is very, very fine detail, although it's very thin. You can't really pull it off and put it on too many times because it stretches and out of place. The other mask we're going to use is the blue mask. This is kind of the one we're going to start with on this. I'm going to show you why we're using this. I'll put these aside for now. So what we're going to do is take a scrap piece of the wax background and just pull these squares off. We're going to start laying out these squares. So just pull them off here. I want to keep them. Save these. And then you can pull this piece off. Now you'll see what I'm talking about with the blue mask. You can see how rigid that is. You don't need to put the clear transfer film over the blue. Some applications will have to, but on this application we really don't have to. And then all we're going to do is we're going to float this over top of the squares. I use the blue because it makes it transparent. You can kind of see where you're placing it. And you can see where a lot of places it's not sitting down, but this is down enough. Lay this out. You can spray your gray on here, and then once your grays are done, then you can pull these little squares back off here, put them back on. We'll pull this mask off. I'll show you that, and then we'll continue on with our regular masking. Okay, so our top hull panels have all been masked off and sprayed. We went with the gold. After looking at some of the photos, there's kind of a gold sheen on one way and then gray on the other, so that's kind of what the gold does here. So that's the way I've done these. One thing I should have mentioned, when you're taking off these little squares, if you use a razor blade, you might pick the corner too much and cause a little wrinkle on it. So what I was doing is it was better just to fold the mask over, and then this will release, then you can just pull it off with a pair of tweezers and put it on. This way you can put it back on. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to take these now, and we're going to place them right back, leaving this other mask on. We're just going to start placing them right over top of the holes. And then we can remove this outer mask. And now that little square will be protected. So when we do our Aztecing, the paint that we just applied on those little squares will remain there. I'll finish up the rest of this, and then we'll start weeding the main mask and go from there. Okay, we painted our hull panels along the top, and we've got them covered with our blue mask, so that's going to protect them as we continue on with the next step. The next step is to actually apply the Aztec masking. I would suggest that You get yourself a few little items for this. One is going to be a very small set of tweezers. The other one's probably going to be a magnifying glass and probably a bottle of Tylenol, because some of this stuff gets really small, and especially doing this Aztec pattern as it flip-flops back and forth, you go a little cross-eyed. So let me grab you the sheet and we'll start weeding this first one. Alright, so in the instruction guide you're going to get these instruction sheets, and these are pretty good things to follow by. So what we're going to do is I'm going to just do a brief overview on how mask is done. This is also covered in video number 1, but for those of you that don't want to see that, you can just watch this one. So what we're going to do is just score the outside. This is on sheet 5, by the way. This one's usually cleared off. And then what I'd probably suggest is get yourself some scrap paper, or a paper towel seems to hold the pieces a little better. So what we do is we just scored the outside of this from the corner of this mask to the outside, and we're just going to pull all this stuff off that we don't need. Just stick it on here, we'll get rid of that later. So now what we want to do is we want to create this first one here, and I guess the best way to describe it is these letters here, they look like letter E's. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with white E's. And anytime we're working near the top, especially on the white E, there's a little trick that I use because these are pretty small. One of the tricks is right here. You cut right across here. You just score the vinyl on this side, score it here, score it in these two places, and that'll help you because this is one large piece trying to remove as one. So let's go in here. So we're going to score first score. Second score. You don't have to push down very hard. You don't have to go through the cardboard. The vinyl's really easy to cut. And then what I do is I start on this side and I pull this side down, pull this side down, pull this side down, and then the bottom. You'll see this way these little black pieces are not going to get removed from the card. So it's pull this one down, pull the center one down, pull the other one down. See how that one's just lifting a little bit? But that will kind of help you hold on to those. This is only for the first one that gets to be kind of a pain. And then we just go through this and remove what we don't need. We don't need these corners. I won't show you everything. I'm just going to show you just a little bit of this. Now on these, you just grab this and just give this a wiggle. And you can hear it snap from each corner. Pull that piece off. We don't need that. And then this piece here. Now the next one down is a complete reverse of this one. It's the mirror image of this one. So on the top one where we left the center of these E's, we're going to pull the centers off these E's. And then this center piece in here, I usually start on the side, pull this way, grab this one, pull down, and head towards the middle. And then that'll keep your corner one in place. Just like that. Or you can start at the top and then this side. Doesn't really matter. The object is to try and keep this corner one in place. And these two are the easiest one. Just start at the center and pull these guys off. So I'll finish doing this off, weeding this side, and then I'm going to bring in the clear and show you what we do with that. So I'll be right back. Okay, this one's now all weeded, matches this one. The one right next to it on either side of it is going to be this one where the E's are going to be black. I did already do that one, and you can see that that's an exact mirror image of this one. Now one thing I forgot to tell you, these pieces are really small, just to give you kind of an idea of the scale you're going to be working at. If you've seen the 1/350 scale version we have, this is it right here. You can see it's a lot bigger, the pieces are a lot bigger. Now the 1/350 scale, when we designed one for the 1/537, it's the exact same kit. It's had to be altered a little bit because the dimensions of the kit and length of the kit changes between manufacturers, but it's the same detail you're going to get. That's why it says some of these you're going to be doing lines that are 0.3 of a mil, or for if you're using imperial, it could be like 1/32 of an inch or 1/64. So that's where you're going to need the magnifying glass. So the other thing is, so when I give you these, you're going to get 18 of these. You only need 16 to do the top. You're going to get 18 of the bottoms. You only need 16 to do the bottom. I've done that so if you make a mistake or you wreck one, you have 2 spares to play with, or steal parts from one to fill in the other one. Because even when I've been doing these, as you go back and forth, you know, you got white E's, black E's, white black and you move down the line. You make a mistake, you pull one off. So if you pull one off accidentally, let's just pull one off here for, you can always pick it up with the tweezers and place it back in wherever you want, or you can place it on the model. I find this is just as easy, just kind of eyeball it and get it back in place. So now once we have these in, we're going to have our clear mastic. And again, like I'm saying, I'm just going to go over this quickly here. So what we want to do is we want to put this, now you probably can't see through this, but I can, so I'm just going to cut kind of a general pattern of it. It doesn't have to be exact. There's usually a little bit more of this stuff than you need. We're going to bend back the paper, pull the paper off, and then just apply this clear right over top of this. Now, those little plastic business cards I give you, that's where you use this to burnish the clear onto the black. Once you've done that, what I need you to do is I need you to cut as close to the black line as you can, through the paper, through the clear, through everything. We want to trim this down. It's going to make it a lot easier to place this down on the saucer. Now don't worry about the top, because that actually helps me peel the clear off. Now the bottom, I just kind of want to get an idea for where it's going. And I freehand this. You're welcome to use scissors, a razor, knife, whatever you want, but you just get it as close as you can. Okay. Let's move that out of the way and bring this in. So this is where things are going to get difficult for this kit. Not only because it's very small, but the contours, the texture of this kit, it's really hard. Then now the black vinyl will adhere to this really well. So will the blue. The problem is when you put the clear on the black, it makes it a little thicker and it doesn't tend to follow the line. So you might have to work at it a little bit to get it to sit properly. Well, I'll show you how we take our time to get it off. But once it's off, it'll sit, it'll be fine. So we're gonna turn this upside down. We're just gonna bend the cardboard and then roll the cardboard off. As you're rolling it off, you'll see all the black is sticking to the clear. If a black piece comes off of here, roll it back over itself, tap it down, and you're good to go. Don't need this no more. Now, the one with the black ease starts right center line, would be starboard side. So we're going to start right. We want to be on either side of the grid lines, of the hull line, sorry. So we're going to start just there, just off the grid line. Look at it along the bottom, and then follow the grid line up. Now where you get to these phasers, just take a razor knife and just give that a score. That'll help seat that down. Okay, then you can use this if you want. A lot of times I've found just my finger works better. I don't have to worry about accidentally scratching the paint or anything. So now this is this is where you got to be really careful. So as we start pulling this clear back, see how this one's coming off? It's not seated properly. All you got to do is just get the corner of it to come off, or fold into a sharper fold, and then just tap that with your finger. This is the only thing I really don't like about this, but the black is probably one of the better vinyls to stick on this. So sometimes it just takes a little bit, but let's just grab this card if you want. Let's just try this. I assure you it will stick. It did on all the other tests. It's just that it's going to take us some time. So I just roll it over, and right when this corner's here, just tap it with your finger and then it'll sit down. Just work your way down. And I'm not pulling on 90 degree, I'm pulling like on a 30 degree angle, 45 degree angle to the vinyl, and it should work out pretty good. Now these, I'll talk to you about these little black lines here in a second as soon as I get this off.
success. All right, so these little black lines, what these are on here is, when I designed this kit for the 1 to 350, I did not want paint inside these lines here. So what I did is I designed a kit that actually has these lines on here that are going to cover that area. And then also, I think it's on sheet 14. I don't know what sheet it's going to be on this kit, but you're going to get long pieces that once you get 2 of these patterns put on, there'll be a piece that you can lay in right in the center, and that'll stop any paint from going there. That's just, I think it looks better if the Aztec is just on the paneling, not into any of the seams. So once this is all in and good to go, we can either trim this one off or leave it the way it is. I think we'll leave it the way it is for now. And like I said, once this one's down, if you just go back, give it a little push down with your thumb, this is seated. This is not going to come up. It's not going to blow off. It's not going to, you're good. So now, same thing. Okay. So I said I don't want to be real close to this one. I want to be far enough away from it. You're going to have lines that you can use to put this, to fill that gap later. But you want to see how this one is exactly the mirror image of that one. That's what you want to see. You don't want to see another white one on this side. So let's just start this here. Follow along the bottom. Just continue laying it up the top. You don't want to rub real hard. You're just trying to get the best adhesion you can get. What it is, it's, I mean, with all these little grooves and stuff on here, it's almost like trying to set vinyl on a comb. It's only touching in a couple places. It's not touching on a full flat surface. So that's why it's a bit of an issue. But we also have that gray mask that I talked about, but it actually has less tack to it, and it'll actually be harder again to put down. In fact, you'd never be able to do this with that one. So that's why this one is not too bad. And see, it's not every one that comes off, it's just the odd ones. Okay. All right, I just wanted to go over one thing here while I was discovering this. Is it's not, just so it doesn't look, the kit doesn't look as bad as it is. Oops. So working on this center section, place this in the center. I'm going to follow the grid line around. So once you rub this in, now this is a piece that has a lot of pieces. It's not broken up, and what happens, you can see it comes off fairly simple. I just want to show that, and I'm going to finish the rest of those. All right, well, while I was putting all this on, I've just thought of something here, that if you pick up the Trek Modeler's Paint Guide, this kit is actually designed to go work with the modeler guide. So once we've laid this piece down here, and we will be painting our blue first, so I'm going to pull off everything that I need to be blue. So these little triangles and the squares and the lines, that's already been done, and it's just now these things. Now what I thought, remember the backing we had from this, the wax things, you can reuse these to do this. Or if you've thrown them away, you just use a piece of wax paper. So what I usually do is I usually just lay it on here, and I've already X'd off the ones I need to pull off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to carefully, just use a razor blade on an angle, pick up the corner, Now carefully pull these off, because what will happen is if you pull too much, like pull and let go and pull and let go, they will distort. And we got to put this back on. So I'm just going to put it right here, just so I kind of know which one is which. And my next one is right in here. So I'll just kind of lay it almost in the same area. So the reason you want to keep these is once I paint the blue, you take these and put them right back on top of there. Then you're going to pull the ones off that are gold, paint the gold. Then you're going to put the gold back on and continue on. That's how you get your colors on. So we don't need this no more. We'll just move around. Now the one thing with vinyl, we've done enough testing now. As long as this base paint you got on is fairly good. I did my test for 2 weeks. I left the vinyl on and it didn't pull any of the paint off. A couple days you could easily use it. You'll notice that the vinyl comes off fairly easy today. Tomorrow it's going to get 100% of its tackiness. So tomorrow it'll be a little tougher to get off. So not that it's hard to get off, but it'll be a lot stronger. And that one. So there's these two pieces. File these away so you don't throw those away. And that's that. I'll continue on with that finally, and we'll get back to this. Alright, well, we've got our Aztec patterns done to the top side of the saucer. When you're doing this, I would suggest do a little bit of it. If you start getting a little cross-eyed or a little frustrated with it, put it aside, work on something else. It is a lot of work, but it'll be very rewarding at the end. Now, one thing I want to mention is when we laid this up, I tell you to leave this bottom one on, and that's this guy right in here. The reason we do that is so I can line up this circle, and then we'll remove these later, and that's what we're going to do right now. So that's all of the bottom ones right in here. We can take all these off now. This one stays, the next one goes. This one stays, this one goes. Okay, well, before we paint the blue on here, there is some other things we need to do. There is, in the movie version, there was not every panel was blue. There was certain panels in here that were gold. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay in, according to this pattern that'll come with the kit, on sheet 7. I just numbered them here so I can see them. I don't know if you can see them. They're actually this panel with an outside groove on it. I'll show you that. I'll just trim one off and you can see what I'm talking about. So we'll just cut this vinyl out. So 6, which is the outer one, is going to come with 2 pieces. It's going to come with the inside and the outside. For right now, we're going to put this like here and forward. So number 6 is the second one off center. This one here is going to be number 6. So what you can do is just bend this and pull the center one off. Now, this is where I said you don't need to clear for this, because you'll see what I mean here. You can see how rigid this is. So this is the one we want to put this on. So I'm just going to turn this way. And we just lay this right over top of that one for now. So what we'll do is we can paint everything. Once we get all the rest of these on, we can spray this whole saucer blue. Then we can pull all these pieces off. Then you can pull this outer ring off, lay it over top, mask around that, paint that gold. So I'll get all these done. I'll get them all laid on there. I'm going to shoot some blue on there. I'll come back, I'll show you how we do some other stuff, and then we'll continue on showing you what the rest of the kit comes with, and the rest of the mask kit. Thanks. Alright, so we're all Aztec covered. We've got our blue panels on here, which will end up being gold. I just taped the outer edge. I can do that later. I wanted to talk to you about these lines here that I have. So on sheet 14, on this side here, you probably can't see them, but there are little teeny lines right here. And what you can do now, this is me. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but you can lay these in right in. Just lay them right in between or right on top of that grid line, and then your grid lines will stay clean. And just continue on the rest. There's enough there to do the top and the bottom, and we'll come back and show you how it looks after we shoot some paint on it. Okay, so we're back. We've spent a lot of time painting the top side of the hull. I'll give you kind of a sample of what you can expect to get here. We've got also post another video. I've got a video of this thing spinning, so you'll get a better idea on how the pearls work. But you can kind of see that the details pretty much bang right on. We'll go over a couple other sections. I'm not going to go through any more masking for you. I'm just going to kind of show you the level of detail you're going to get with this kit. Like I said before, all of the application videos for the 1 to 350 are going to be exact for this kit, only this kit's a little bit smaller. So we've already been through the top side of the saucer, so I can put that one aside. The bottom side, I've got I did a paint job on one side of it and then just showed the masking on the other side. So I don't know how well that shows up on the screen, but you can see the Aztecing pattern is the same as it is on the top. There's just a little bit of kind of almost a sunburst pattern on the bottom. There's also mask that's going to be included for the lower sensor array. So that's gonna, there's a whole bunch of little squares in there. This one's exact like the 1 to 350. So that would be that. Let's move on to the nacelles. So the nacelles, you can see, are pretty much exact as they are on the 350 side. Like I said, just smaller. It includes all the little decorations or the ornaments that go on the outboard side, including this we had built up for the 1 to 350, which actually allows you to paint all the gold on the panels. But this one doesn't have the panels, so at least you can paint the gold and kind of see the panels. Moving on, let's go to the neck. Really detailed. Like, I mean, some of the stuff is really small, so that will get you your neck pattern. The secondary hull sides and belly, and the area just over the landing bay is exactly like the 350 scale, only, like I said, brought down and maybe either stretched or whatever, depending on, because each kit tends to make their ships a little different. The only thing different about this one is this deflector is not detached, and it's actually got the grid on it. So I didn't do a deflector mask for this because it's really almost impossible to get it to stick. So that one you'll have to use the decals for, but everything else you can do. The other thing we've got the lightning bolt pattern that happens on the pylons. So you'll get all that. You get the mask kit, so you can actually paint the green or the couple colors of green on that inboard side versus using the decals. So that's pretty much the kit in a nutshell. Thanks for watching. Check us out on our Facebook page at Aztec Masting Kit by Mass Design. We've got quite a few guys on there from around the world actually building models and posting up their challenges and how they've come up with a few little changes. And like I said, use the video application guides to the 1 to 350. That'll help you along with this one, and we'll see you again on another video. Thanks for watching.